But you can't help others if you can't help yourself. If I'm not the living example of the help that I want to give people, I don't know why anyone would believe me that I can help them. I don't think there's anyone that can do anything different. Everything has been done. And I think a lot of creators don't want to admit that. You need people that you're working with that just do things differently than you. I just think that we just need more women to be comfortable having the same kind of communities men do. I feel like that's the real solution. Men are always really good with helping each other. And it's not that women aren't. Women are good at helping everyone. Everyone thinks they can become a creator, or everyone feels like they're supposed to be. And there just needs to be some level of separation soon, because not everyone can be the boss.
Hi, Therese. You're welcome to Unscripted. We've been chasing for a year.
Chasing?
Yes. Oh?
You're not running fast enough then.
Okay. Finally we caught up to you. So you're welcome to Unscripted. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
It's been a while since I've seen
you. Yeah, because you were, I don't even know if I should use roaming or traveling. We were moving all over the world. How many countries have you been to so far?
How many countries? Wow, yeah. I don't know if I've been counting. Because some of them I've already
lost count.
It's not that I've lost count. I don't know if I've been actively counting. I've just been traveling in general for the last few years for work.
Right.
Whether it's for Jumbo, Moliy, or personal reasons. So I don't know if I have a number in my head for the number of countries that I've been in. I
understand. How has 2025 been for you so far? I saw someone make a statement somewhere for one particular artist, and I think it's the same for you. Like this year, you took it personal. It's like, if we are to give the year a theme, you know how sometimes in churches we give the year a theme?
Yeah.
If we are to give it a theme, I think for you it's going so well. From your perspective, you can tell her how it's been going so far, but how has it been?
It's been a harvest year.
A harvest year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Since we're using biblical references, it's a harvest year. I've been planting these seeds, I think, for a very long time. And I think God is going out of his way to show me the whole move by faith.
Right.
Because I don't know what's going to happen next, but I just know it's always going to be good. That's where I am right now. So yeah, I do think I am taking the year personal. I don't know how else.
Harvest.
Yeah.
You mentioned something. I've been planting seeds for so long.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the real conversation.
Okay.
Who is Therese? You just mentioned that people don't get your name right. Please, it's not Teresa. It's Therese. If you see it in the title, it's Therese.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. There's an E at the end.
Yes. Who is Therese? Where did everything start from? This seeds you've been planting. Please tell us about it. We have all day, I guess.
We don't have all day. I have to go. But where did it start? I'm Ghanaian. Both my parents are Ghanaian.
Okay.
I was born in the U.S. though.
Okay.
But both my parents are from Ghana. My dad grew up in Kumasi in Bonre. My mom grew up in Kumasi as well, but also in Teshi.
Okay.
So she was born in Teshi, Teshi Nungwa. And then she grew up in Kumasi for the rest of her life. And then they both moved to America, met separately. They met and then they had me.
Right.
And I'm the oldest of 5.
Yeah.
I think from the beginning stages of my life, being an older sister, I always say continues to play a role in how I interact with the people that I work with.
Okay.
Yeah. So where did it all begin? I don't know.
Yeah. How did you get into this space? This whole.
You have to be very specific because I'm assuming that people don't know who I am when they're watching this.
Yes, I want you to tell us who you are.
Who do you think I am? Because that will help me. Who do you think I am?
When I think of you, I can't use one word, but I think of you as someone that's trying to help the creator space. Yeah. That's what always comes to mind when your name is mentioned, to be very honest. So from your perspective, this conversation might probably be 45 minutes, an hour long. Why? Guys, she doesn't like doing interviews. That's why she's saying this. So this is exclusive. Who is Therese? We want to know that because I'm sure there's other side of you we don't know.
Yeah, of course. But there's other sides you'll never know. That's just how life is. But I think based on what you do know, based on the work that I've been doing in Ghana, I don't think I set out to know what I'm going to do. I think I've always just wanted to help people.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I used to tell people I wanted to be a doctor. And I would be like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor. That was what it was. Like, I would tell my parents, I would tell everyone. And so they used to call me Dr. Jones because my last name is Jones.
Okay.
And then I got older and I was going through the medical field and I realized I didn't want to do this. Like, this isn't what I wanted to do.
Why?
Because when people think of helping people, they assume that you're helping people from a place of, like, when they're ill, like they're sick. But actually, that made me sad. It made me uncomfortable.
Okay.
And I just wasn't enjoying that path.
Okay.
So one day I took a trip to Ghana. A friend actually bought my ticket for me as a present. And I hated it. It was like the worst 2 weeks of my life. But I knew I was from here. And my dad, growing up, my dad used to tell me all these really cool stories about Ghana, about growing up here, the history. And I just wanted to figure out a way to make it work.
Okay.
And the kind of problem solver that I am, even if I hate an experience, I want to figure out, like, how do I make it better?
Right.
Like, I'm always looking at ways to create solutions to problems. And so I saw those 2 weeks as, Therese, you've lived in America most of your life. You've only been very comfortable. You've come to a new country where things work differently.
Right.
How do I go back and make it work for me? And that's just been my, like, mantra since I came back to Ghana. Ghana isn't perfect, but how do I make it work for me? Right. And then eventually it became, how do I make it work for other people as well? So, yeah.
That's a very interesting perspective. You first saw the problem, decided, okay, how can I solve this problem and make everything work for me? Did you figure that out before deciding that, how can I make it work for others?
Yeah. I knew that. I always, I don't know. I feel like it's something very corny, but I think I heard it somewhere. I don't know if it was a movie, but you can't help others if you can't help yourself. Like, if you are sick, if you are not well, like, how are you actually going to help other people? If I'm not in the living example of the help that I want to give people, I don't know why anyone would believe me that I can help them.
Yeah.
I feel like I would feel like a fraud. And I feel like that's why I try not to overstep what I can offer people. I'm always hesitant. Sometimes people ask me for things and I'm slightly hesitant sometimes because I'm like, I don't want to let this person down if I cannot deliver my best, like, out of this. Like, and I know that they've seen me do it for other people, but I'm like, I don't want to say yes right away because I don't know if I can give you what you're expecting from me. And I would hate that to be the last experience that we have together.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm very, very specific about, making sure that I'm offering value when I meet people.
Yeah. I agree with what you said, that you can't help others if you can't. Because Coco has said the same thing on the pod when I asked a similar question. And she was like, first, you need to identify yourself. You need to know your identity. Because if you don't understand yourself as a person, then what help are you going to give to someone? So I agree with that. What year did you come to Ghana?
That first year was 2015.
2015.
Yeah. And then the second time I came was in 2016.
2016. When did the whole jumbo thing start?
Wow.
I mean, we spoke to Master in season 2 from his perspective. I want to hear it from your side too as well.
So when I came in 2016, again, I had come because I was like, I want to figure out a way to make it work for me. I maybe started enjoying my time in Ghana too much. This is before, like, year of return or anything like that.
Okay.
But everyone was so nice. Everything was going great for me. And I was like, I got to figure out a way to make money. And I have to figure out a way to make it make sense that I'm in Ghana. Because, again, being the oldest, you're setting an example. Your parents are looking at you like, okay, this is cute, but, like, when are you coming back? When are you going to come back to work? All those things. And so, again, for me, I was like, how do I start networking in a way that would start benefiting me? I want to go back to what you said about knowing who you are.
Right.
Is that the words you use?
Yeah.
I don't believe anyone knows who they are.
Okay.
I don't know who I am.
Okay.
I know what I would want to feel when I wake up in the morning, and that's what moves me.
Okay.
I know that I am created by God, right? I know that God is leading my path, but I don't know if I know what I'm supposed to be. And I feel like my life is a big example of that, of waking up and I'm moved to do something. I'm moved to call someone. I'm moved to finally accept this interview that you've been reaching out to me for a long time to do right before my trip out of the country, when I don't know when I'm coming. I'm coming back, right? So I think it was the same way when I came and I had met Maisa. And at the time, he was managing Easy. So I was following them around, just observing what that looked like. I also met some other people as well. There's a guy, Kofi Pepera. I think he threw parties like, and funny enough, I didn't meet Alvin, but I was at the there's like the BBNZ like space. They had like some parties, like I think there was like cocktail things that they used to do there. So like I was meeting these, because Accra is small.
Right.
I kept running into the same people everywhere I was going. And it started being one of those things where it was like, okay, I like this. It feels like home, but it's also feeling like I get to define like what I want to do, how I want to be in these spaces. And I'm kind of listening to people as they're speaking about what work they're doing is so inspiring. And I'm thinking, wow, why doesn't the world know about these people? So in my head, I'm like, I want to be like, I don't know how, but I want to figure out how do I let people know like what's going on in Ghana? Like, how do I don't know, spread the word. I was just inspired. But I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And so myself had thrown the first Deti rave. And I think it was in Prom Prom. And I was thinking, why are we going all the way to Prom Prom to do this event? And I remember the commercials were so exciting. It had like a beach thing going on, and it was really cool. And I just felt like working with him made sense at the time, because when I would ask him why he had these ideas, he was just like, I just want to do something that no one has done. Like, that's just what it kept being. And I think as a woman too, it was important to kind of at the time work with somebody that like listened to me, like allowed me to also just, have like a creative back and forth. But one thing I know is I had also met Clay. Okay. His name's Clay the Mogul. He currently manages Kojo Q. Okay. And another artist, Ogrania. And I met both of them, and they were both best friends, and they were working with Easy, and they were also working on their own projects. And I was like, this is an interesting dynamic. But there weren't that many women.
So you wanted to change that?
I don't think it's a change. Like, I wanted to change that. I just wanted to I remember it. Like, I just remember it. I've always remembered that the entertainment industry, whether it's the creative side, everything tends to be heavily men. But I don't think it's intentional. I don't think men go out of their way to leave women out. I think it's just when men build communities, they're building it out of like relatability. Like, I relate to you. You're my boy. Come, let's do this. Let's build these things together. Like, like there's just a number of things. And I think Ghana taught me to look at problems in a different way. When I'm in America, I feel like I'm slightly combative. Where I'm looking at things from, okay, this might be racist, this might be sexist, this might be ableist, this might be this might be that. When I'm in Ghana, I'm realizing everyone here has issues. Like, we all are trying to fight our problems. Right. Yes, someone might be rude, and they are maybe being very misogynistic, but it might not, they're not doing it from that place. They don't see it that way. So in doing all of this, I started speaking to myself, because I felt like out of the people that I was meeting, he was the one that was pretty open and clear with me. Okay. Because every time I'll come and complain to him, he was like, this is Ghana. Like, he would just say very calmly, like, this is Ghana. Like, just figure out what would work for you. And then I kept saying, okay, I'm about to leave soon. It's like, why don't we start an agency? Me and him and Clay. Okay. And then he was ignoring me. He ignored me.
He ignored you?
Yeah, he was just like, this American girl, just all these crazy ideas. Like, what is this? Like, he was always ignoring me, and I knew he was ignoring me, but I was like, it's okay. Right. I knew I just needed to prove myself. Yeah. And so I would just do little things just to remind him about it, or I would help out, just very small ways to show like I'm there. Yeah. And then we started Brand Mice. One day he called me when I went to America. He's like, you know what? He had just got married. He spoke to his wife about it. He just had left Hubtel. I think, after he did the rebrand from SMSGH to Hubtel. And he was like, he thinks he's ready to do it. Okay. And that's how that started. So we went from Brandmeister, did Brandmeister for a few years. We did Deti Rave, Live Wired, a bunch of other, like, Jameson Connects. And we started working with influencers. So at the time when we had done Brandmeister, I had friends in the US who were making millions as influencers. And I noticed that their following and stuff was sometimes less than the ones that I seen in Ghana. Right. But I noticed that in Ghana, they weren't making that kind of money.
How are you going to see it?
But I just felt like they were doing cheap things. And I was like, why would you do that? You have an audience. Like, why would you take these very small gigs or gigs that don't add value to you as someone that now has influence? And I remember at the time, this is before the FDA alcohol ban for celebrities. A lot of them weren't trying to pay for digital creators. Like a lot of the brands, they just either wanted like Yvonne Nelson or like someone big, and they would just put money into them, let them do it. And then the ban happened. And when the ban happened, I started hearing from the other agencies how they were trying to figure out loopholes to still use celebrities, but then not get in trouble from the FDA. And I remember I went to Ogilvy. I went to sit at Ogilvy's office, and there was a guy there that worked there, Chris. And I was like, let's do like a campaign. Mm-hmm. Like, I really think we should move forward for it. They didn't have any alcohol at that time, so no. What they gave us to do was Coca-Cola. Okay. And I remember thinking, okay, I want to just make sure it makes the most impact. So I selected a few people, did the Coca-Cola campaign. It went live, and the numbers were very impressive that we started doing more campaigns. I was able to use that data to go to Pernod Ricard at the time, who was doing Jameson. Mm-hmm. And they just hired like a new team. Sadiq was still there, but they had hired a new team to put together. And I was trying to convince them to use influencers, but I wanted them to increase their budget because they've used them before. And usually what they do is they just tell people to post flyers. Right. Back then, influencer marketing was post flyers. That was it. And I used to be like, what is going on in this country? Or like they would have these groups that they'll put young people in from school and say, okay, if you guys post this flyer, we'll give you 100 cities to post this flyer in your WhatsApp status or your stories. And I'm like, this is weird. So now when I'm trying to reach out to all these influencers, some of them even being like the ones, like Zubi, Ama, I'm asking them to do more work. And some of them were kind of fighting me on it. But not Ama or Zubi at the time. They were like, okay, they'll try it. I wanted it to look like organic content. Yeah. And some of that content started going like viral. And it really helped the Jameson campaign. So while that was happening, we would run ads and things like that. So yeah, that's actually how I started working with influencers in this country specifically. And then eventually South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria. One of them was... the TikTok rival that used to do music as well. I can't remember their name. Start with a T. Do you know Triller? Yeah, I know Triller. Yeah, so Triller was trying
that was before 2020, right?
No, it was around that time. It was around 2020. Yeah. Triller wanted to, start incorporating more African creators from, to do content for the musicians on the platform. So I was helping them source.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, creators for it, stuff like that. So yeah. That's just, and then MAC Cosmetics. Yeah. From South Africa as well, yeah. So.
But when it comes to think of it, where's Triller?
You know what it was? I think the pandemic changed Triller because then they were so focused on the verses. Yeah. Right? I think so. So they changed up their business model slightly to stop being a TikTok competitor. And I think, that was different.
You've said a lot. I'm trying to even pick. Good. Let's start from here. When you said about women, right, in the industry, being few and all that, how has it been so far? Has it changed from then till now? Has it changed?
Then it's never going to change.
Why?
I don't think it's meant to change. I just think that we just need more women to be comfortable having the same kind of communities men do. I feel like that's the real solution. When you look at the 90s, when you look at just time, I just think that men are just nurtured to be in teams.
You were fighting with me last year.
What was I fighting about?
Please let's continue.
Please continue.
No,
you've already started it. Now you have to say it so I can defend it.
No,
but people are going to wonder.
Okay, so she was fighting with me because there was no female on the team, but now there's a female. And when you were talking about it, Ella, you said thing about how men always want to, they have the vibe, like I relate to this guy. That's how it was at the beginning. So we didn't even notice there was no female in the team.
And that's why when I mention it to people who have all male teams, I don't mention it to say force yourself to have a woman on the team. I just know that they aren't thinking of it.
Yeah,
it's not like they're intentionally saying we're leaving women out. Like we're gonna make sure no woman is here.
Yeah.
I just think that when you guys meet your friends, you're like, oh, my guy is so good at editing.
Yeah.
Let me bring him on. This person is good at this. Or I heard that this one just got out of school and he's not doing anything. Let me help him out. Men are always really good with helping each other. And it's not that women aren't. Women are good at helping everyone. Mm-hmm. So when you're helping everyone, it includes men.
Yeah.
To the point where sometimes when they are helping everyone, they aren't thinking of building a community around helping. And so you'll see people's big jokes that women don't become friends for too long. Like they'll say things like, oh, women aren't able to they have a new bestie every year. Like I see the jokes. But I don't think that's what it is. I just think women are more guarded. Mm-hmm. It takes us time to warm up.
Okay.
We also go through really interesting cycles of relationships. But I also think men are really good at having levels for their friendship. That women, I don't know if we've been able to master it fully. I'm sure some have. But men will have a friend and you'll ask him, oh, like, when's your friend's birthday? That guy's birthday. Like, I don't know the guy's birthday, but that's my guy. Like I watch football with him. Like that's my guy I watch football with.
That's it.
That's all he is to me. And I'm like, but then does he have a girlfriend? He'll be like, I don't know. We watch football. That's all that matters. And so I think with women, we want more deep connection in our relationships with people, especially people that we're nurturing and taking care of. And so that takes time. But we're happy to be a part of groups. If you come and ask us to play a role, we will. I'm sure the woman that you have on your team, like you have a specific role for her and she's playing it. And as long as you make her feel comfortable and included. And I've been lucky. Like I said, in Ghana, I'm around men who are doing really dope things. And when I'm like, oh, I want to help, they look at me like, okay, sure. What can you do? Bam. They put me in. That's it. And I'm grateful for that. But I also know women in Ghana aren't good at asking to be a part of things. And when I was hiring at Brandmeister, one of the things that used to really be important to me was making sure that my female staff don't give up their seats when people walk up in the room, that they don't go and fetch things for people. It's just an automatic thing because I recognize it's a culture thing. I deal with it when I'm with aunties and uncles. You've just been visiting somebody's office and all of a sudden you become work. I'm like, what's going on? And I had to make sure that when I met women, not that I wanted men to be doing that kind of work, but I just needed them to see themselves like outside of those things. And sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. Because again, I come from a different culture. And I've had to learn to give people grace, that not everyone will understand things the way that I do. Right. And so that's why even though we had that conversation, I made it clear to you that I don't think you were doing it intentionally. But you should consider adding more women to your team.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, good. When you spoke about Meister, you pitched the idea to him, right? And he was ignoring you and everything, blah, 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 blah. But I'm sure there was something you saw that was like, oh, I think I want to work with Meister and all that. And I spoke to the Vedette about the same thing, about working with people when it comes to like starting a business, right? Co-founder. And most of the times, I've had a couple of people that said they don't work well with their friends or it never goes well. Or, all those kind of things. Fortunately for me, all the people I work with are my friends. And so far, 2 years now, it's been...
That's a blessing.
Yes.
That's a really big blessing.
To be honest, I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'm trying to see from the perspective, like other people, what do you look... For example, I'll use Michael as an example, right? We started working together from campus. He used to come to my place. Sometimes you see videos and I'm wondering why this guy was in my room at that time, right? So like we were that close. And when you get that close and you're starting a business, then there's this whole money conversation. Yeah. Somebody has to be the boss, it becomes a problem. But it's been well. He works with me here. I work for him too on a project he's starting. And over there, he's the one giving me instructions and I don't have a problem. Right? So, that relationship is a bit tricky. What were the things you looked at in Meister, or like the things you saw that was like, oh, I think I want to work with this guy and not somebody else? Because there were other people that were doing what he was doing, or maybe less similar. So what do you think triggered you to move to him?
That's a very interesting question. I don't think I was intentionally like, this is the person that I'm going to do a business with. But like I said, I had already been observing the dynamic with him, Easy, and his Clay at the time too. And I don't know, I just saw like how they were able to solve problems in that group. At times, like how objective like he was, or how Clay would like, you know, kind of swoop in and do certain things. And they felt like, wow, like these people aren't like focused on, you know, I don't know, is it like they're not focused on bad vibes?
Right.
And they always laughed after problems. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Like, me, I would be freaking out. Like, what? Like, why? But no, like they would go through it, maybe complain a bit, and then after they solve it, they're just like, it is what it is. Yeah. Like we figured. And I used to feel like that's too lax. Like, no. But then after working with both of them now, I see why it's needed. Because I think for me, I'm stressed.
Right.
Like I get stressed when I can't understand like big picture. I get stressed when I don't know what the end goal is going to be. And they're more like, listen, it's going to be okay. And I'm just like, when is it going to be okay? Don't tell me that. I'll give an example. I think it was 2019 or 2018. I think it's 2018, that T-Raid. And it was my first one working with both of them on it. And obviously we had a plan going up until the day. That day, a few days before the all-white party that they do, Havana or something like that. I don't know, you party people would have to be the little Havana. There was a video of people bum rushing the gates. Oh. So obviously, no one really got hurt, but like obviously you don't want that for your event. Yeah, exactly. And we were going to be doing it at La Palm. And I'm telling everyone, like, do we have security? They're like, it's okay, relax, don't worry, it'll be fine. Now, something happens when you throw events, tickets go missing. People are given access or they don't. Yeah. The team, everyone's doing their own vibes. And so what ends up happening is I'm at the gates and we find out that we've technically run out of bands.
And there are people
who have not redeemed their tickets. Like they're standing in front of me and they're starting to get restless. Because then we've trained all the security and the soldiers to recognize specific colors for certain things. And now what? You're going to give, what are you going to give like two people to make up for it? And I was just angry because I'm like, how did this happen? Like we ordered extra. Everyone was given complimentary. Also, we were dealing with people selling complimentary tickets in the market. Like you're just seeing on Twitter. I'm like, why is he holding this much like complimentary ticket? Like it was insane. And everyone else was just like, no, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. Let's just go and speak to the soldiers and we'll just explain to them what has changed. And apparently it was just a mess. Now, while I'm solving this, I decided, let me check my phone. I remember how angry I was because I was like, I'm freaking out. I can't like breathe. Because again, I'm slightly dramatic. I'm the dramatic one when I'm working sometimes. And I go on Snap and I see my sis on stage with Easy and them just vibing. I'm like...
Yeah, he's stressing.
He's stressing. Everyone's just having fun. That's what it looked like, actually. And then I saw Clay. And then Clay came up to me and he just starts laughing. That's what Clay does. Clay's always like the middle guy. He's like, you need to relax. It's okay. Like, don't worry. The day is here already. People are going to get inside. Let's just figure it out. And we did. We figured it out. I even forgot what the solution was, but we figured out something. And then we just went about our day. Like,
yours was the vibes.
Yeah. And I think that's what I saw even beforehand. Like, you need people that you're working with that just do things differently than you. You know, they maybe look at something from a different perspective, but then they still respect your opinion.
Thank you. Now let's go to the influencer side of things. You said something that people were doing things for cheap, or some of the influencers would do it cheap. Is that they were scared to mention the figures or the brands were the issue, or they didn't understand the industry?
In Ghana, there's no such thing as the brands are the issue. It's the agencies.
Okay.
The agencies control the pricing.
Okay.
The brands give a budget to the agencies, and the agencies decide how they want to split that budget for the influencers.
So they're the ones holding the money?
They are the ones holding the money. Okay. They're the ones controlling how the money is dispersed. They're the ones controlling all those things. I I think a lot of influencers at that time, it wasn't seen as a career. I think it was just seen as they're doing content. They see their favorite influencers outside. They just want the opportunity to say a brand is working with them. Yeah. And then it was just that simple. But I don't think they realize that now when people find out what you're doing or how there's no brand loyalty. Oh, this person said that they like, Guinness one day, and next thing you know, they're saying they like Jameson the other day, or that they like Coke versus like Fun. Like, it makes it look messy. Mm-hmm. It makes you look unreliable. It makes it look like you're not actually intentional about the influence that you're trying to build. Okay. And so, yeah, that's what it was. And I mean, I think it's never going to go away fully, but that's what it was.
You're in conversation when it comes to like this. You've mentioned that it's the agencies and with the people you manage and all that. Sometimes you're talking money for them on their behalf. Yeah. And how does it go? I mean, you don't have to give us figures. Like, how does the conversation go? What are we looking at? Because I think
my girls make good money.
Yeah, we know that.
But that's because I think that they've shown that they deserve it. I think that everyone that works with them cannot say that they don't get value back when they work with my girls and Kojo.
You know I was going to say that. You put Kojo in the
girls. Everyone gets value for their money. And so for me, I feel like when I go into these conversations, I'm looking to make sure that you respect the creator as much as you want to work with them. And sometimes that isn't what happens. Sometimes people really will say to me, they should take the money. It's money. It's just one video they're posting. It's just this, it's just that. And I'm just like, well, if you don't like the video, you're going to ask them to do it 10 times. That's their time. That is everything. It's just, it's not about saying figures. It's just really like
being able to defend.
What me feeling. And I wouldn't defend them if I didn't think they were worth what I'm saying. Right. Or what somebody would do is they'll find like an old rate card or they'll try to compare it to their Snapchat. And I'm like, that's not the same conversation that we're having. I'm ready to defend why they deserve what I'm asking for them.
Yeah, eating money.
What do you mean by eating money?
Disika. Well, for the influencers out there, I mean, you manage this for people: Ama, Gisela, Moliy, and Kojo. Yeah, so the 4 girls. Kojo, she's quite a girl.
No, not called Kojo a girl. I said my girls.
Right. They are doing amazing, like excellent. I see Kojo Junior's video and I'm like, this guy. Right. What do you think they are doing differently? Because you manage them, you definitely guide them and all that. That other influencers are not doing. Yes, we want to steal your tips.
No, okay, so I don't like the question. Right. No, the reason why I don't like the question is I don't think they're doing anything differently. I don't think that's what it's about.
Okay, what's it about?
I literally just ask them to be themselves.
Okay.
Including Moliy, like everyone. I don't want you to play a role. I don't want you to pretend to be anything. And if there's a problem, if you don't want to do something, just be honest about it. Let me know so that I know how to handle it. I don't think there's anyone that can do anything different. Everything has been done. And I think a lot of creators don't want to like admit that, but everything has been done already. Even this podcast you're doing. Yeah. You're inspired by other podcasts, right? Sure. So it's been done. I think what's different about them is people sense the authenticity. Right. When you're watching Gisela's content and she really doesn't like something, she doesn't like it. She might not bash the brand, but she doesn't like it. She won't talk about it. Ama talks about things even if you don't pay her. Kojo does things just because he's happy. Like, he's walking around happy. Like, Molly's just happy making music. Yeah. She's online. Like, she likes doing the content with it. Like, there's no rules. But I think for me, what's really important is that you're doing something that makes you happy, that you're proud of, that you're not going to be ashamed of. And I'm ready to defend it. Like, I'm ready to defend you. I'm ready to stand by it, help you be better, help you find solutions. That's really what it is.
Now, let's talk about Moliy music. Shake it to the max. I bet that's the lyrics.
Why are you pretending you don't know?
Shake it to the max, right? Shake it to the max. Yeah, let's talk about Moliy. When did you start?
Dance.
I have to do that dance.
You just put your hand on your face. Like that's it. And then you just shake it.
Yeah, I know this part. But what am I shaking?
You can shake wherever. That's the great thing about it. And yeah, exactly.
See what I'm doing for you. Last year when I met you, I didn't know about Moliy. I don't know if she was in the picture.
I've been working with Moliy for 4 or 5 years.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't know about it. Mm-hmm. And what you guys, she's all over the internet. This year, like I said at the beginning of the pod, this year is for Therese because every single person you're mentioning has been training since the beginning of the year. Let's talk about last year. Sorry, I'm sorry. Since last year, but I wanted to talk about Moliy on the music side of things. Like, what changed? Like, what was it? I don't even know how to ask the question. Like, what happened?
You have to be specific about what happened.
Like with this particular music, right?
Okay, with the song?
Yeah, with the song. Mm-hmm. Like, what happened? How was like the marketing and everything? Because it just blew all over. Anytime I see it on TikTok, I'm like, I even saw your own with my stuff. Like, we'll not talk about that.
You didn't see anything.
We'll put a mirror on this.
This is I just want this isn't Molly's first hit.
This is the first one I know.
This is the first one you think you know.
Really?
Yeah, Moliy was on Sad Girls Love Money with Ama Burland.
Yeah, I know Sad
and that was the first big Ghanaian song to have a global explosion. Okay. Moliy being able to write a song like that always tells me that you can do it again. Right. Because that's just what it is. Like, once you've made a hit, it's not that accidental. It's just with the right resources, with the right time, the right beats, with the right people, you can do it again. And that's exactly what we set out to do when she was working on her following project. Okay. She had done a few features, taken her time to kind of decide. And one of the things that kept coming up was, I love Molly's music, but I listen to it when I'm on my way home, driving in a car, or I listen to it when I'm getting ready to go out, but I'm not listening to it to party. I'm not listening it to do these things. And so we wanted an era where people could enjoy themselves. Because Moliy is a very bubbly personality. Yeah. She's just very like real, authentic herself. So when we went into this new era, we're calling it a bop Moliy. Like, you know when you call a song a bop, like this is a bop, like this is a hit. We just said this is going to be the bop Moliy era. And she just started recording. She would meet with different producers all over in different countries. Wherever she was, she would just end up there. And then, one of the songs right before she moved back to Ghana from Orlando, that's the last song actually she recorded was Shake It to the Max. Okay. Then when we got here, we're looking through music and we said, let's tease some. One of them we teased was Good Boy with Melissa, her sister. And then Shake It to the Max was one. And then there was another one. I can't remember it right now off the top of my head. But we were just like, let's just tease music. We had been releasing features that whole year. None that was like her own. And we started seeing Shake It to the Max pick up. But what made it even better was Moliy started doing the dance. Yeah. And that all of a sudden started to gain something. But then what really hit was, I told Moliy that she deserved, a vacation with her family. She had just moved back to Ghana, reconnected with cousins and everything. So they went to, I think, Elmina, where they're from. Okay. And on that trip, she got all of them to do the dance. And that video, I think, got almost like 2 million views. And that started trending. And that started having other people do it. And it ignited. And had you also do it? I did not do it. It ignited a whole new movement. It started in East Africa, funny enough. It didn't start here in Ghana. No, it started in East Africa, then eventually Jamaica. And then the rest is history. We are here where we are today. Yeah.
The Jamaica trip you guys went on, I think she performed with Vybz Kartel.
No, that was in New York.
That was in New York. Okay, it was not in Jamaica. It was in New York. Was that after the whole hit or was already planned ahead of time?
No, it was way after the hit. By then, we have done a trip to Jamaica. The trip to Jamaica was to shoot the music video. Okay. And that had Skilly Bang and Shinsia. Yeah. And then the producers were there. Okay. Silent Addy and Disco Neil. After that trip, they let us know we had to come to London. Went to London and they were like, well, Vybz Kartel is going to be in New York. doing a show at Barclays. Let's get you to New York and see if we can do a surprise performance on stage. We were not going to say no. We went. But yeah, it's just, I think when we were in Jamaica, we were at a jerk chicken stand. I always say I wish I recorded this, and I wish I made her repeat it on camera. But the lady's like, Moliy, you brought happiness back to Jamaica again, like to dance hall.
Wow.
Because she's like, people weren't moving, and now they're moving, they're dancing. Yeah. And I remember like, wow, like she's really done something, because everyone, even in Ghana, like there's always that one song that you grew up on that was like iconic, like something that is attached to your childhood. When we were in Jamaica, we went to a local school. Mm-hmm. The whole school was just running around doing Shake It to the Max with Moliy. Like, it was crazy to see like that level of impact. And even then, I didn't think we needed security, because I was thinking, oh, you know, the song just came out. The way people just recognized her as soon as she was at the airport staff dancing. People don't even say hi to her. They just dance. And do you know like how powerful that is to be able to just do that? And yeah, I mean, Moliy and I were very biblical people. Like, we're very religious people. Like, we give it to God. And it wasn't easy getting to the point where, because you don't know when you make decisions about music. I can't sit here and tell you there's a specific marketing strategy that made this possible. But I'm also not going to deny that I do think having faith like played a role in saying like, this feels right. Let's move forward with this. And I have people I talk to, and I tell them how afraid I am all the time. And I'm happy I have people I can tell, because there are other people that look at me and go, wow, like your life is amazing. And I'm like, you guys don't know.
What are you afraid of?
Like, it's just, you just don't want to do the wrong thing. But there's no such thing as the wrong thing. Exactly. It's just but you don't feel that in the moment. In the moment, you're trying to make some of the biggest decisions of not even just your life for somebody else. Yeah. And so those things are things that you have to have people that are willing to hear you complain, you know, small. You can't complain the whole time, but just like some people that are willing to hear you and then help you like when there's needed. And I've had a lot of help. I definitely didn't do any of this alone. I don't even think Moliy will ever say she did this alone. Like, it's a lot of help, a lot of relationships, a lot of the creators that I work with. I don't have to ask them. I mean, I'm a post Moliy all the time. She does content I've never asked her. I don't have to. And I won't, because I've always said everyone should be themselves. Right. Like, you should do what you want. Gisela doesn't dance. And I saw a video of her doing shapes. I said, and I was away.
It was great on.
And I was like, wait, who is this? And she's like, I did it. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, because I wouldn't expect that. And it's like, because of the relationships that I built, there are people that are willing to support me. They're supporting Moliy based on how they've met her. And that's how this has gotten us to where we are, because of the community that I think we have been able to build. But yes, there is some marketing in there, but I just don't want to pretend like post 10 times a day, post in your story, pay this much for ads. Yeah. And it's how you run a business. Sometimes it's really like, do people trust you? Do people believe what you're selling? It's really that simple. And Molly's very humble about it. I mean, she's reposting everyone that does it. Yeah. Doesn't matter where you're from, what your background is. You're being reposted. That's a big deal as well.
I think that's something a lot of creators need to do, like engaging with the community. Some people don't. They would, because, 2 million people have seen the videos, everybody should go and sleep.
And I think that's actually, when I think about it, based on what you just said, Kojo, Ama, Gisela, they're really good at that.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody started calling me a gizzard, I don't know how I would feel. But then they just embraced it. Gizzards, burgers. I don't know what they call Junior.
Wait, so it was the community that they gave her that?
Yeah. She didn't call herself a gizzard.
I recently saw one on Twitter for Moliy. I don't know if you've seen that one. The cocoa one. Oh, that one you're fighting?
I'm not fighting anything. The Moliy Cocos are telling me that that's what they are. I've seen the Moliy Coco fan page.
Already?
Yes. I've seen...
But I think that engagement, because someone like Kojo Junior is, when you go to his Twitter, he's replying to almost... If the person is trying to insult himself, he's sure if it's positive, he's replying. And I think that's something that is amazing, even though it's difficult, because when the numbers get huge,
it becomes harder.
It becomes harder. But I think that's
because you don't see everything.
You don't see everything, and people don't care about that. They just think I've commented, you need to repost.
Yes, and that's the thing too. When people message you too, they're just like, oh, message right there. Just answer it.
Me mind, you didn't want to mind me.
No comment.
Good.
I sent Mercy to you.
Who? She didn't text me.
Oh, she didn't text you.
Yeah. After the conversation. Sorry, guys. Let's talk about the creator space. I think I'm sure it has evolved since I got into this space like just last year. Because before that I was just doing products, design and all that. But like starting learning about this whole media space, the creator space was just last year. From when it started to now, how has it evolved in terms of how are people taking it now? And what does it look like in like the coming years? Because like I think you said something at the beginning that people didn't think influencing was a business or like a career, right? But now it is. That's like what is.
I do think that people see it as a career, but they're still not understanding it fully. Content is king. What is it? Who said that? Was it Bill Gates?
Content is king.
Yeah,
I've heard that. I don't know who said it.
I don't want to be misquoted, but all I know is that for a long time, I always say that I feel like the content people who go from tech to creator is different than content who go from like just regular creator. It's more structured when you guys join it. Yeah. You guys are so obsessed with the technology. You want it perfect first.
Yeah.
I feel like the creators that are really making a lot of impact though are the ones that start with nothing.
Right.
Because they literally just say, you know what, I have a voice, I have things that I want to share. I don't know what the difference is, but I feel like it's become harder though for people to see the good side of influencing or being a creator. I'm trying to move away from the word influencing because I feel like an influencer really is someone that changes the way you do things.
Okay.
A creator is just someone that is creating content or some kind that people enjoy consuming. And then there's people who are building media companies like Kojo Sheldon. Right. Or even Headless, who's now starting to expand.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what you would eventually do too, right?
Yep.
Because you guys are trying to build media companies where people are coming to consume multiple forms of content. And then you have someone like an Ama or Gisela or Kojo who they're the main focus.
Right.
I think it's important for people to understand in order for the creator economy to make sense in Africa, everyone should play their role. You do not have to be a Kojo Sheldon to consider that a metric of success because he is successful. But what role are you playing? Are you a creator that ends up being on his channel? That has a segment on his channel, or you can try and do it on your own.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've gotten so many people that reach out and say, hey, can you come and record me?
Yeah.
Can you come and do this? Because there's so many different levels to what's needed in the industry. My only issue is the economies around the world are kind of suffering and people are watching creators make a lot of money. And I feel like it's creating a weird disparity.
Yeah.
Like when I was back home, I met with some of my nieces and nephews, and they're telling me I want to be a YouTuber. Like that's like the career they want.
Yeah. Yeah, learning maths is cool, but they are seeing themselves doing YouTube.
And when they say that, they're like, I'm going to make lots of money. When you're seeing someone like Kaizenats, DDG, all of them, and they're streaming and their streams are giving them almost $1 million or more just because people are watching them. But not everyone can do it. Yes. And I think that's the only issue that I'm seeing is everyone thinks they can become a creator or everyone feels like they're supposed to be. And there just needs to be some level of separation soon on what role everyone should play. That's all.
I wish the message could get to a lot of people. I'm praying it does.
Because not everyone can be the boss.
Yeah.
Right?
And people don't understand that.
Yeah. But the creator industry is one I love. I feel like it's so much power in owning content and being able to control what people watch. Ama and Gisela they post every Sunday or every week. And it's just of their week.
Yep.
Like, it's a whole almost hour or 2 hour video of just things that they've done with their friends. And they post every week. And when they post first day, 30K. 30,000 people are watching them it's new TV. It's new media.
It's crazy. It's powerful.
To the point where people aren't paying for DSTV as much. They're not paying for Netflix. Netflix is losing to YouTube for the first time.
Yep. So that.
Because there's so much content on YouTube now that people are like, And then the ads that they make, the ad revenue, YouTube is also enjoying.
Yeah, a lot.
It's created a different cycle. And then you have Mr. Beast. So yeah, there has to be.
I'm just thinking, I like the point of everyone needs to know the role they are playing, because, like you said, there's so many people that think there's a quick way to make money.
And it's not. And it's not.
Are you ready to work for, let's say, 2 years before you now start? You know, like, they don't know all this. They just what, hey, I just get one brand deal. If everybody understands the role they're playing, I think it's going to help in the long run. But another problem, I have noticed this, and I think you said that not everyone can be the boss. Over here in Ghana, people don't like to serve. They would rather be the one to, hey, put the camera here, they don't want to do that. You understand? So for someone to be, okay, I'm a creator, maybe I should go and have a show on so and so persons. They would rather want to start theirs. And like you said, we can only have one Kojo Sheldon, we can only have one Headless, we can only have one this and this and this. Everyone has to be, not unique in a sense, but everyone has to know what they're doing.
I mean, and it applies to business. Because I remember when I first told people I was moving to Ghana to do my business with Bernard and Clay, they're like, why don't you just do it yourself? And I'm just thinking to myself, what businesses are done by themselves?
Right.
Like who, I mean, besides Calendly. There was somebody that was smart one time and they're like, Calendly was done by themselves. And I said, besides, even then, they were using technology built by other people.
So now if you make that statement, you say beside.
Yeah, so besides Calendly, but who really builds really strong teams long-term by themselves?
Collaboration is important.
It is. And so it's something that eventually you have to go through a humble role and be like, okay, I'm willing to do some of the dirty work in order to get to where I need to go.
Thank you very much. What was Jambo been up to? And we're coming to the end of the pod. What was Jambo? And I have another interesting question from the last guest. What has Jambo been up to so far? Because I think you guys have introduced a few things.
So yeah, I mean, when we started Jambo, everyone thought that we were just a podcasting studio.
Yeah, workspace.
Or a co-working space. Yeah. I don't think they understood the bigger picture. We wanted to create safe spaces for creatives.
Okay.
In order to do that, we need to offer 3 things: space, education, and resources and funding to creatives. We're on our education side. Our space is there. If you need it, we're always there and available to make it possible for you to come and use the space. But education was something that was always important to us. We wanted to create something serious when it comes to the creator economy. And so we've launched our academy in partnership with the French Embassy. We're already in week 5 of our first cohort. Everyone is doing grades. It's amazing. We have about, I think, 20 students. And yeah, like that's the idea, is that we're looking to get these creatives. And at the end of it, we're hoping to be able to find internships to put them in. Yeah. So they're able to use that knowledge in the real world outside of doing creativity for themselves, but doing it for like other people as well. And so that's what we're up to. I can't announce this one technically yet, but we're partnering with a local bank soon to also assist creators in access to funding. And then lastly, when I didn't mention it earlier, but I started this thing called Ripple in 2020, and it was an influencer tech platform. Okay. And it's the reason why I can't stand tech bros, because I got burnt by my CTO. But outside of that, it was still a great idea and a great concept. And so we're bringing out a tech product soon in partnership with a tech company. So there's some things happening, but we like to move at a slow pace, like at our own pace. And right now, the education side. So if anyone wants to join our next cohort, they can visit adca.edu, or they can just call Jambo and find out more information. Jambo Spaces.
How are you feeling mentally, combining everything? Like, how is it? Honest answer.
I'm blessed. I feel blessed.
You feel blessed. You're managing it well.
I think I'm managing it as good as I can for what I have available to me. I'm blessed. And like I said, I'm not doing it alone. I literally have help. Yeah. I'm never afraid to say, like, I'm asking for help or there are people helping me. I don't think I can do it alone. I don't think I was ever meant to do these things alone. I always say that I have siblings for a reason. Like, I grew up with co-founders Like, it's just one of those things that I don't know how to be alone in things that I'm doing. And so, yeah, I think as much as everything is coming at me very much, you know, every day I wake up and there's something new happening, I'm managing it the best way I can, right? With the resources that I have.
Yeah, that harvesting, please bring this up. All right. So I have final.
I brought you my interview.
Okay.
I brought you my interview.
Final 7 questions. And then there's a mystery question from Kukua for you.
Oh, wow. Okay, Stephen.
All right. So final 7, but you don't have to think too deep about it.
Okay.
What's a lesson life had to teach you the hard way?
That I've had to teach?
Yeah, a lesson life had to teach you the hard way.
Oh, wow. What's a lesson life had to teach me the hard way? That death is real. Death is real.
Death is real.
Yeah. But not in like a morbid way. Like it ends. Like everything we're doing, there is an ending. Like, so what are you doing? What are you doing with the life that you're given when like you wake up? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going with the rapture though. Anyway, what's a skill everyone should learn, but most people don't?
How to read.
How to read.
Like reading, like intentionally, like, and reading not because you have to, but reading because you want to. Yeah.
If you could time travel, but only once, where or when would you go?
The day the guy that created Bitcoin. That Bitcoin, and I'll buy plenty. And I'll be like, I'll wait. I'll go back to my life. Simple. That's what I would do. Because I mean, now I know things.
Yeah. If you weren't doing what you do now, what would you be doing?
Probably a teacher.
So the doctor, dear, is not.
No, absolutely not.
If you could send one message to the entire world, what would it be? One message.
Just live your life.
Just live your life.
In Rihanna's voice, I can't sing, so I wasn't going to sing it. But like, imagine what I said, but just hear it in Rihanna's voice.
You can try singing.
No.
I'll let the sound guy.
I'm okay. You guys always say that, and then the sound comes out terrible.
We'll make your voice nice when you're singing.
Beg you.
Okay. If you could have dinner with your younger self, what would you say?
What would I say to her?
Yeah.
She should behave herself.
She should.
And stop crying.
She should behave herself. And stop crying. You used to cry a lot.
Of course. I was a crybaby.
Oh. If you could invent one thing to make life easier, what would it be?
Invent one thing?
Yeah, to make your life easier.
I don't know, a clock that just allowed me to have more time.
More than it.
More than 24 hours.
You can adjust it to what you want.
And like just slightly, just like
realize that
with no consequences to messing with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just reminded me of that movie. All right. So please play Cooper's voice note. Have you seen it?
Describe yourself without talking about your work, your title, your gender, your achievements. Who are you outside of all those things?
I am the daughter of Stephen and Mercy. Oh no, sorry, I already messed up.
Yep.
I can't.
It's a very tough question to
be honest. It's a very hard question.
Yeah. And she said, who are you? And somehow during the pod, you mentioned that you don't even know who you are. I'll give you have the chance to answer.
I don't think I don't think I know who I am. But if I'm describing myself to somebody without those things, I am an individual who is not afraid to take risks, but cries about them. And I'm just looking to always see things through. Like, I'm just a very ambitious individual. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where I have to just do a list. I am.
Right.
I enjoy spending time by the beach. One day I'm going to own a coconut farm that is not based off of work. I'm just going to own it. And it's just going to be for me. I'm just going to be on there by myself, just away from everyone. And it should be by the ocean. I'm just living my best life. So yeah, that's me. That's a very hard question, Kuko. But Kuko is a very deep thinker. Every time I talk to her, it's like I'm having a deep conversation.
Her podcast was a very interesting
I'm not surprised at all that question.
Yeah. You have to record for the next.
I have to do it right now.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Okay, so how does it work?
You hit the record.
I mean, I know how recording works, but...
This one very interesting. Yeah, you just ask the question. So to the next guest, may you continue the question.
What is something that you remember as a child that allows you to be who you are today? Like a very core memory, something that happened to you that you feel like shaped the way that you think about life today?
Well, I still have interesting questions, to be honest. I'm glad the questions are not to me. Therese, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I really
appreciate it. Wasn't that bad?
Yeah. I mean, just 1 hour out of the day.
Okay, no.
We're not done.
Remember, I want more time.
Yeah, we're not done. You see the camera over there. Look them in the eyes.
Look them in the eyes.
Yes,
okay.
look at the lens. They can feel it from there.
Relax.
And tell them to subscribe.
Hi, guys. Please subscribe to Raygan's channel, Unscripted. He's a really great person. And I'm seeing this channel is going to be the biggest and the best resources for young Ghanaian creatives everywhere. I can't wait for you to have the big dogs on your show some more.
Thank you.
I think you're doing good.
Thank you.
For yourself.
We'll continue fighting behind the camera. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll catch you in the next one.
Or at least you're losing it.